What is up, 007s? Welcome back to the channel. I'm very excited for this one, guys, because this is going to bring so much value. If you make it all the way through, I promise you might learn something, or you'll find a new way to, just apply your game. So, mastering the female gaze. A lot of guys don't have any idea about the female gaze. They don't know what it is, or if they do, they don't know how to use it to help them become more attractive. So, once I found this ideology, it completely changed my dating life forever. I found this maybe like a year and a half ago, so I've had a lot of time to really study it, reverse engineer it, and that's why I'm making this for you guys. Let's jump into it. What is the female gaze? Oh, my bad, y'all. I got a message. Anyway, what is the female gaze? Essentially, the female gaze is what women view as attractive versus what men view as attractive. Most women view things that are overly masculine unattractive. A lot of guys try to be macho men. They try to be super masculine and traditional. And to be real with you, if you are trying to attract women, for majority of women, this isn't going to work. Now, I'm not going to tell you to be feminine by any means. No, you still want to be masculine. You still want to be a man. But I'm going to explain what I mean. So let's give some examples. If a guy is jacked to the bone and he has a massive physique, men will look at him with admiration. Men will be like, oh, wow, like you're super big. You look good, bro, this, that. You'll get a lot of compliments from men. But with women, you barely get any compliments. That's why a lot of gym bros are like, well, I've gotten ripped. I've gotten shredded. I'm super big, but only guys compliment me. The reason is women don't necessarily find this attractive. That's the male gaze. What women find attractive is more of a lean physique, like a Brad Pitt in Fight Club, and just a more lean aesthetic physique where maybe you have the V taper or you have some abs, but you're not super shredded. You're more lean than anything. That's universally the most attractive body type. So women will look at him with intimidation and sometimes disgust and think he's too big. That's why you don't see a lot of women with these jacked bodybuilders. You don't hear guys like Sam Sulek and stuff, oh, women are finding them super attractive and this and that, because certain women will look at them and be like, yo, it's good he's in shape or whatever, but he's just too big for me. That's not my preference. So another example, a guy could pull up in a Hellcat and another guy could pull up in a much cheaper luxury vehicle. Okay, most guys are going to go up to the guy in the Hellcat or the Hellcat Red Eye because we know what that is. Most women will see a Hellcat Red Eye and be like, oh, that's just a police car, or that's just a Charger, a regular Charger or Challenger. But a man could pull up with a much cheaper BMW. I don't know that much about BMWs, or a luxury car. And women will run over there and assume that this guy has more money or more value because he's in what they know is a luxury car, which is seen as a status symbol or a wealth symbol, right? Even though the Hellcat could cost 2 to 3 times more, women have no idea what's going on. That's male gaze versus the female gaze. Am I telling you guys to go out and turn in your Hellcat and get a BMW or whatever? No, I'm not telling you guys to buy a car based off what women like. I'm just explaining the differences. Do what you want. But why most men struggle to attract women? Most guys have no idea about the female gaze. And normally the ones that do have no idea how to utilize it. Most guys believe that appealing to the standards of what's viewed as masculine will give them the most results, and that's false. Like I said, I'm not telling you to be feminine, but trying to impress other men or look good in the eyesight of other men will keep you lonely. A lot of guys want to start to appeal to the female gaze, but they are afraid of the judgment or the backlash they may receive. Like prime example, when I first started getting into skincare and fashion, all these things, like certain people like, well, don't you think that's kind of feminine, or don't you think you having a skin regimen is kind of gay? And these are coming from guys who don't get women. So men are going to have some hate. Guys are going to hate on you from the beginning. When you first start to try to change, glow up, make yourself more attractive, get in the gym, people are going to hate. People are going to talk shit. They're going to have negative things to say. You have to tune them out, because those same people, once they see you getting more women and getting the results they wish they could get, then they come to you for advice, or they try to act like they knew all along that you would become something. You have to tune all of that out. I don't care what they say. Let them think what they want to think. You know what you're doing. Appealing to the male gaze will only result in validation of men, which if you are here, I'm sure you really don't care about male validation. Me personally, I could not care less about male validation. Do I want guys to respect me? Of course, yes. Especially with me helping guys, yes. But when I was single and I was trying to attract women, I didn't really give a damn if guys thought I was gay, straight, whatever they thought. As long as the women I was trying to get was rocking with what I had going on, and I was rocking with what I had going on, that's all I cared about. And that's all you should care about. Who cares what other guys say? How do I identify the female gaze? While there are countless videos on the internet, including this one, you may also be able to reverse engineer. That's what I did. Basically, reverse engineering is you taking the idea of who women find subjectively attractive or objectively attractive, and basically figuring out what qualities these guys have and how can you implement them into your life. So I like taking guys like Michael B. Jordan, Chris Hemsworth, just different guys. I always use them too. Leonardo DiCaprio. I always use guys who women find attractive. And I just compare them. I look at what traits they have. So most of these guys have traits or qualities that you can make your own if you're willing to lock in. Let's use some examples. Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan is viewed basically attractive in an objective manner. Most women can admit that he's attractive. Even if he's not their type, what does he have, right? What skills or what qualities does he have? He has money. He has looks, he has status, he has ambition, and he has style. He's well-rounded. Michael B. Jordan isn't just, oh, he's good looking, or oh, he just has a ton of money, or oh, he just dresses well. He's like more of a full package type of guy if you really study him closely. And the way he interacts with women is very good as well. He looks them in the eyes. He's very respectful. He knows how to flirt in a subtle way. You know what I'm saying? So if you can take these traits and start figuring out, okay, how can I do this? How can I do it in my own personality? You don't want to copy somebody exactly. You want to do it your own way, but it has to be natural. I'm sorry, y'all. My allergies are jacked up right now. That's why I'm like scratching my nose and stuff. But anyway, we can talk about Leonardo DiCaprio, the prime Leonardo. Obviously now he's a little bit older. He's packed on some weight, but we're going to talk about like when he was like that guy. Leonardo is widely found attractive. What does he have in common with Michael B. Jordan? They're both found handsome. They both have charisma. They're both ambitious. They both have success. These are all attractive traits to the female gaze. You know, women love handsome guys. Women love charismatic guys. Women like to have fun. Women love a man who's ambitious, because what does ambition comes with? Success. Women want a guy who's winning in life. You can take simple observations like these and ask yourself, where do you stand? If you don't have any of these traits, it's not the end of the world. That's why we're here. We're here to work on that. We're here to gain these traits. So I'm not telling you guys to compete with the top % of men necessarily. If that's your goal, then go for it. But I know for the average guy, they're like, well, these guys are famous, so obviously this and that. But why are they famous? They're famous because they did things to make themselves valuable. And I'm not telling you to strive for fame, but what I'm telling you is to build that value so you can utilize it for your benefit. So you can have these traits in your own tax bracket or life. Like I say, you don't have to be super rich, super famous. The idea is to become stable and well-rounded in each category to become the ideal man in a woman's head. The well-rounded man is often viewed as too good to be true because most guys suck. And I'll give you some examples from my personal life, right? I'll make it personal. So when I first started making more money, I started losing weight, going to the gym, taking care of myself, and following a lot of these principles. Whenever I would date girls, I would often hear from them say, you know, I just think that, you know, you're putting on an act, or maybe you're too good to be true, or, you know, I've never dated a guy like you, or most guys I date, they're not like you. And the reason being is it's not because I'm super special, super handsome, super great. It's the fact that I understand that in order to find success in life as a man, you have to have balance in your life. It's that simple. You can't have yin without yang. You can't have yang without yin. You have to have balance in your life. And once I started finding balance, which meant I started spending time focusing on multiple areas of my life instead of just one thing, that's when I found success. Most guys, either they're doing nothing or they're just doing one thing really well. And the problem with that is if you come across a guy who is decent or good at everything, you're not going to stand a chance, because maybe you're really good looking, but your personality sucks. If there's a guy who looks a little bit worse than you, but his personality is way better than yours, the woman is going to go with the guy who, let's say you're a 9, she'll go with a guy who's a 7 or 8 who has a good personality. That's why I say you want to work on everything. A lot of guys think, oh, looks just matter. Oh, this just matter. Looks just matter to the male gaze. That's why the black pill community is crazy. A bunch of grown men arguing with each other about how somebody looks or who looks better. It's because men are visual. Women aren't in those comment sections arguing, because women can look at a guy and say, oh, he's handsome, but what's his personality like? What's his money like? What is this like? Women are more bigger picture than us as men most of the time. How can I apply the female gaze to my image? Let's start with appearance, because you guys love talking about looks matters. On average, women find men who groom themselves very attractive. What is good grooming? Good grooming is having good hygiene, brushing your teeth, showering, smelling good, taking care of your health, your hygiene. Haircuts, finding a haircut that suits you. Style, obviously knowing how to present yourself and dress well, and anything involving presentation. We could talk about fitness. We could talk about just anything to the naked human eye, right? So maximizing your presentation to look the best possible appeals to the female gaze. Most guys do not do this because it's often viewed as feminine. When you have a skincare routine, where you're going to the gym, when you're worried about your style and how you look and your accessories, most guys find this feminine. They're like, oh, females do that. As a man, just throw on whatever. Just have a scruffy beard. Just get a haircut whenever. No, bro. That is keeping you looking bummy. That is keeping you looking like every other guy that is not getting attractive women. The guys who are viewed the most attractive, they normally have some type of pretty boy aesthetic, or they are very conscious about their style and how they take care of themselves. A good example of this, no homo, is Duke Dennis. A lot of guys be like, why do girls love Duke? Duke is just a regular guy, that. Duke Dennis knows how to go to the female gaze. Duke Dennis, he uses his smile. A lot of guys are afraid to smile in photos. Every time you see Duke, this nigga cheesing. This man is cheesing because he gets compliments on his teeth. He has confidence. He's using his leverage. He's using his smile as his leverage. He's doing things that other guys are afraid to do. A lot of guys were clowning him for the crop top thing. Would I wear a crop top? Absolutely not. But the women were defending it because the women liked it. Am I telling you to go buy a crop top? No, I wouldn't buy a crop top. But I'm just telling you, the way that you present yourself is everything. A lot of guys think, oh, I'm just running to the store, or oh, I'm just going here. Nobody's going to see me. You never know. Everywhere you go, you want to present yourself the best you can, because that is what women are into. They are into good presentation. Let's talk game. Let's get even deeper. The male gaze of game is trying to convince the woman to give him her body through dates, money, and attention. That's why a lot of guys simp. That's why a lot of guys trick. That's why a lot of guys get used, because they only know what society has taught men. Oh, take her on a nice date. Oh, buy her this. Oh, open the door for this. Give her attention. Be sweet to her. Do this, do that for her. But women don't respond well to a lot of these things because that is not how they view it. Women are there for the experience. Women are there for the experience. Let me rephrase that. Women are there in an emotional state. Women don't love the guy who has the most money and looks the best necessarily. Most women love the guy who can make them feel a certain way. That's why women be dating broke guys. That's why women be dealing with toxic exes. They keep going back to the same guy over and over because he has that emotional stronghold. The female gaze way of pulling a woman is getting her mind, and then her body will naturally follow. What I mean by getting her mind is being able to seduce her, being able to conversate with her, being able to make her feel like she is only happy in a man's presence when you are said man. As simple as that. Female gaze game. So how do I get her mind and body? Women fall in love with what they hear, which I am clearly illiterate because I use the wrong hear. Y'all don't pay that any mind. I'm not an airhead, I promise. Versus men falling in love with what they see. I type these things up super fast because I be ready to discuss it. But anyway, since we know this, we must have good conversationalist skills. A lot of guys suck at conversating. A lot of guys, they'll ask girls questions that are meaningless, that lead nowhere. Like asking a girl, how was your day? Okay. Every guy asks this girl that. She's tired of answering this question, right? But if you phrase it, you can say the same thing, but if you phrase it in a way that appeals to her emotions, then you could get a lot further. So instead of saying, oh, hey, how was your day? You could say something as simple as, I'm not going to even lie. My day was wild. This, and this happened. Did anything crazy happen to you today? Okay, you just turned the same question from boring to interesting. What I'm saying is you gave her some information. You told her, hey, I had a crazy day today. This happened, this happened, this happened. You're coming to her with information, especially if you had an exciting or crazy day. You're coming to her with positive energy. And then you're asking her and making her think deeper, like, hey, did anything crazy happen? And if she's like, oh, that's interesting, blah, 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 nothing really crazy happened. It was the same old boring day. Then you can hit her with the, oh man, why was your day boring? Nothing exciting happened, or you're just being negative. Like, you can kind of like make a very subtle conversation very deep. A lot of guys like to go wide. A lot of guys like to have 10 surface level conversations instead of 1 or 2 deep conversations that will get you further. And you need to master charisma and subtle seduction. How do you work with charisma? It's just like I said, whenever you say something, your goal is to get some type of emotional response. Whether it's making them laugh, whether it's making them happy, whether it's making them interested, whether it's turning her on, you want your words to foster some kind of meaning. A lot of guys just start yapping. They have no sense of direction. They have no idea where they want to take the conversation. You want to know where you want that conversation to go. If you are just trying to have a good time, then sure, talk about whatever. But if you are trying to attract this woman, you want to build this emotional bond. So charisma and subtle seduction creates a huge emotional bond, because charisma makes her want to be around you, and seduction makes her want to be intimate with you. How do you get subtle seduction? It's as simple as breaking the touch barrier, giving her that hug on that date, sitting closer on that date, not sitting across from her, sitting right beside her at a bar or in the booth, sit right beside her, leave that seat across, leave it empty. Being able to look her in the eyes and say what you have to say. That shows confidence. That shows engagement. Being able to smile, being able to tease her lightly. That is building subtle seduction. I talk about that in the ebook. This is achieved by practicing talking to people. The ebook, I talk all about that. It's completely free. It's in the description. Just click the link. It'll pull up the ebook. And understanding yourself. Why do you need to understand yourself? Because once you understand yourself, understand what you like, you will basically become a much more happier person, because you know the things you like, and you can invite that woman to do the things that you like. You can invite her into the conversations you like to have, the things you are passionate about. As long as you're passionate, you can build up her interest. Once you build that connection to where she not only wants to be in your presence, she craves interaction with you. This is what differs you from the average guy who's following the male gaze, because you are not trying to impress her anymore. You are just simply impressive. Once you become a good conversationalist, once you learn how to grab a woman's mind, her body is just, it's coming. It's nothing you can do. You would have to force her not to give you her body at that point. Conclusion. To master the female gaze, you must be open to a new perspective and able to reverse engineer what the women you desire find attractive, and molding yourself into that version of yourself, not pretending. I'm not telling you, hey, bro, go copy Michael B. Jordan. Go copy Leonardo DiCaprio. That is them, gang. Let them be them. What I'm saying is take the good qualities that people admire about them and make them your own. Do it in your own way. You must be fearless of what other guys say, because hate and jealousy will come. Once you start finding success, some of your best friends will make little slit remarks, and you're looking at them like, bro, like, I just did the work. Why are you mad? But once they see the results, everybody's going to want to be on your team. Being charismatic, a great conversationalist, and understanding how to find your look will take you places you never imagined. If you do want one-on-one help from me, you can email me for a 30-minute free call. It's basically just a consultation of us just figuring out what's your problem and trying to come up with a plan. But if you want to keep working with me all the way through to get the fastest results, I do charge after that. But my email is askaxelblack@gmail.com, or you can DM me on Instagram. That's my Instagram. Let's work together. Let's get these results. I hope this brought you guys a ton of value and taught you more about the female gaze and why most guys are struggling to appeal to it. But yeah, that's it for this one. I'll see you guys tomorrow.